It's morning, and I decided to do. I was watching a video. I was watching Supernatural, and the show was called Carry On. The actor Jen Ackles, who plays Dean, and Bobby Singer. I forgot his name. The actor who plays Bobby Singer. Dean gets sent into heaven, and he starts talking. This episode is called Carry On. Episode season 15, episode 18, I think, 18, episode 20 or 21, whatever. But he talks about they're both in heaven, and they talk about how Bobby's like, this is not like your old, this is not, imagine running your golden oldies, something like that. I forgot the wording. It's the heaven that should be, or should have been. So in the episode, basically, in the seasons, if you watch the seasons before, they were a character named Jack, not Jack. What's his name? I forgot his name. He was God in the episode. He was God in the whole series, and there was a new God that took over. But when he said it was the old runs, like the Goldies, the Golden Age, something like that. Just bear with me. I started to remember when I took ayahuasca and the reincarnation cycle. You know, it's like rerun hits. Um, it's like you're running. Just imagine you take a record and you put it on a disc and you scratch the record and it's playing old hits. That's like that's what reincarnation is. It's playing your old hits, your old Goldie times, Goldies, the good old days. But you're in reverse over and over and over again, and you pick on different forms, different playlists, different whatever it is. You can be the box, the rock, or it can be anything. And you can just be playing the role again and again and again. Let me ask my audience or whoever's watching this. Do anyone knows or remember what heaven feels like? Or do they even recall what heaven is? Have they even remember being in heaven? And I was asking myself this tonight. As I'm laying in bed, well, it's morning, as I'm laying in bed, and I'm remembering the reincarnation cycle. Now I even remember hearing roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And I remember hearing that, and the clocks, like hearing that's the song, and then the clocks ding, ding. Do you want to do it again? Do you want to do it again? And like the faces laughing at me. And I remember being a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a baby, a woman. I remember being in Japan. I remember being famous. Like I remember there was so much, like, there was so much different phases of the story. And, I wanted to talk about that. Do you remember being in heaven? Do you remember what that felt like? Like, you remember, like, I remember so much other things, but I don't even remember what that feels like. I don't even remember being in paradise. If I am eternal, why don't I remember why don't I remember the final dimension or home felt like? Like, I remember a dimension where I was at peace, but I called it home. But I know there were higher dimensions, because in the end, I was able to see vastly into the future, where everyone is at peace, well, reaching that state. And I was below a dimension, I think below a dimension or few, and I saw my friend at the final dimension, and everyone was like worshiping him, and because of the work he has done. And as I looked up and I saw everyone looking up, and it was beautiful. Like it was a beautiful sight to see. It was marvelous. I don't know the word to use. It was just full of joy, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. The end was beautiful. So I just want to ask you that. Do you recall what heaven feels like? Like we hear in the books. Do you remember before you descended, before you came here? Do you remember what heaven was like? Do you remember what paradise was like? Do you remember or have any like we've been reincarnating so much that we forgot what heaven feel like. Like we have this illusion that this place is heaven, this place is paradise, because it's better than other dimensions, better than other frequencies, but it's not. The more aware you become, you learn that it's all lies. This world, it's built on lies. Tonight, coming home from work, and I asked myself, how could the world not be real, but yet you have physicality? How is it possible for something to harden itself from the non-physical? So just imagine if you see my hands, right? Now imagine my hands turning into waves or turning into energy. This is energy, but just imagine or picture my hand turning into liquid, right? Turning into liquid, and then turning into sound, and then turning into air, but then turning into nothingness. But then imagine it turning into physicality. So do you know the state it has to go before it becomes physical? That's when I think about that, to become physical is dangerous, because one, it takes a lot of work. Two, you realize it's dangerous because in the spiritual, in the non-physical, you have more access to all your weapons. You are in the spiritual, you are fully aware, of everything. In the physical, you're not. You're limited to what you can do and what you can bring out, right? And if you're able to bring out a lot of tools, a lot of your inner strength, a lot of your inner tools, is because you're very advanced. Today, this has been dawning on me for the past week and week or 2 weeks. And, yeah, my whole life has been built on lies. When I was a kid, when they asked me, what did you want to be? And if you were to ask me again, at this current stage in my life, I'm 23, and if you were to ask me if I was 5, what I wanted to be, I would say I want to be me. I would say I want to be unique. I want to be beautiful. Not beautiful in the sense of, oh, here we go. He's being gay. No, I'm not. Oh, he's being homosexual. No, no, no. I'm not talking about that. I don't condone that. I'm saying like find the best parts of yourself that you love and you want to bring out, and you want that to shine, and you shine so bright that everyone could see, and you want to share that. That's the best parts that I'm talking about. If someone asked me, if I were to go to school, why didn't it teach me to be me? Why didn't it teach me to be love itself? Why didn't it teach me it was okay to be different? It was okay to be unique. It was okay to love yourself. I think that would have saved me a lot of pain. It would have saved me a lot of headache. And it would have made me walk a better path. And I don't condone school. I really, it's a waste of time. I would rather homeschool your kids or a kid, because with the right information, your kid can really touch the stars. When I was growing up, I was taught to be white. I was taught to be every other race but myself. And I'm going to show a picture of my face so you have an idea. But I was taught to be every other race but myself. I was told that I was ugly, and I was told that, you're stupid, you're retarded, you will never amount to nothing, and that you're just normal, you're nothing, you're just a nobody. And for so long, I believed that, and I held on to that, and it wasn't true. It was all lies. Before, people used to make fun of my hairline. They used to make fun of my big head. They used to make fun of the mole on my face, on my smile, or they used to say I was short, and a bunch of other things. And what changed that was, for me, when I started to change my diet, when I started to fast more, when I went to Peru, Mexico, and grew out my hair, got taller, I took a different path. When I started to get people out of my life that was slowing me down, I started to see more of myself. I started to express myself. I started to extend more of my light, the things that made me beautiful inside, the things that made me unique, the things that made me shine so bright, that made me cry with joy, that made me want to be me, that made me try to look to find peace. I wish I was taught that as a kid, and I wasn't taught that. And I had to find that on my own. And it took a long time. And I'm still a work in progress. There's still a lot for me to do. And I'll talk about race. I'll talk about why I've come to this conclusion. So I was taught to be white, because white people, they are respected, right? They get ahead. They get the better job than you. They're more connections. You get women. The world is yours, right? And you get into clubs and so on and so forth. And people treat you better. And right? Hispanic people, Muslim people, Puerto Rican, etc., etc., etc. I was taught to be every other race but myself. I'm finally coming out clean and being honest with myself after all these years. I used to tell people that I was Trinidadian. And for so long, I believed in that. Like, I stuck by that. Like, I had so much pride in that. Like, it was a belief system of, yeah, this is my culture. But it's not. It was never my culture. I love a lot of things about it, but it was never where I really came from. And my family, my parents are from Haiti. And when I was a kid, I used to speak Creole. And along the way, that was beaten out of me as a kid. And I accepted the negativity. Like I said, I'll go back to, like I said before, I wish they would taught me how to be unique, how to be different, and that it was okay to be different. Like, for example, if you have a disability or you struggle with certain things, what that person, your family member, or the ones that surround yourself in your life, they should teach you to embrace what makes you beautiful, what makes you shine bright. Rather it is if you can write well, you can speak well, you can dance well, whatever it is, they should allow you to elaborate and expand on those particular skills or ecstasy of ecstatic uniqueness and with the things that you struggle with, and they should always tell you you're enough, you're beautiful, you're strong, but at the same time they work on your weaknesses. So even though you might not probably get as good as an average person, but you have enough tools inside of you to get through life. And that's love. That's the ultimate form of love. And to take it to the next level, they teach you about diet. They teach you about the tools that's within your body. They teach you about spirituality, not religion, but spirituality. They teach you about how love and health, what you eat is who you are, and it unlocks your junk DNA. It's important that these things that they teach you, and they don't teach you this in school, and it's really sad. And I wish, wow, what a ride, like what a journey. I wish they taught us, also they taught what you should learn about medicine. Let plants be your medicine, and about ayahuasca, the war on drugs. The reason that they created drugs is so you will never find out the truth about spiritual plants, such as, because everything is distraction, so you will never look to find the truth. There will be so much negativity that even if the negativity, like drugs, right? The drugs are the negativity that's in your way. So even though you're looking for something to help you heal, there's so much negativity that you will never look because you've been hurt so much that even if God or gold was in front of your face, why would you look if you've been in so much pain? You've been hurt so much, right? So this is why drugs were created, the war on drugs. So you will never look for ayahuasca. You will never look for peyote. You will never look for iboga. You will never look for San Pedro. You will never look for mapacho. You will never look for these powerful plants that are among the gods. That connects, that helps you tap into who you are and remember where you came from before this lifetime. Out of all the gurus, out of everyone I've watched, they never talk about the weapons or the tools in your body. They never talk about how You have spiritual weapons inside that protects you from death, that protects you from assassination. No one can take you out once you know who you are. And once you heal yourself and remove the negativity, the darkness, the more darkness you remove, the lighter you become, the more powerful you become. And no one can kill you. This is important. They don't teach you that in school. They don't teach you that you're eternal, that you live forever, that death is just a perception. Death is your soul leaving your body and taking another form. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred. Einstein talked about reality is illusion, albeit a persistent one. How does a man that say these things don't know about the nature of existence? He does. How you say those things and don't make a difference in the world? Why? Because he was a part of the system. He was a part of the whole game. I know I sound like I'm jumping around, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And we talk about race. Let's go back to race. I always want to be every different race but myself. I was taught that to be black was ugliness, dirty, stinking people. They have no culture. They're not intelligent. They don't know any better. They eat and shit where they are. They dirty and stink people. And now, I remember when I was younger, my sister would tell me, my younger sister, my blood sister would tell me, speak French, speak Creole. And I didn't want to. I'm like, get that shit out of my face. Like I didn't even care. I didn't care. And now that I look around, every day, every year, every minute, every second, our rights are being taken from us. We pay 5 cents for bags that used to be cheap, that used to be free. We buy food that used to be full to the brim, and now it's half or less, and they charge you an arm and a leg. Okay, you used to be able to go to school after high school, get a decent job, and you was in a union. Now you don't have that. You used to be able to go to work and retire at 55. Now it's till 75. That's 30 years, 35 years more. You used to be able to, come home, spend time with your family. Now you have to work so much that you don't have time for your family. Like, how much more? Why are people so blind? Every single year we lose more of our rights. But they say we're free. But they say we have freedom. But they say that we're independent. That's not true. They paint the illusion. They paint the illusion that we're free, but we're not free. It's like it looks great on paper, but it's bullshit. That's America for you. And I've come to the point where, now let's go back to race. This is going to be a very, very deep topic. Let's go back to race. I used to see Hispanic people, black people. I come across all kinds of creeds, people. And I would say hello, and a lot of them would ignore me. They would pass me straight. They would treat me a certain way. They would disrespect me. And I was just trying to be kind, loving. And I've come to realize, people talk about this is the greatest country in the world. We have freedom, right? They talk about unity. They want unity. They want to come together. They talk about Black Lives Matter. But after the Black Lives Matter, they go home. They still treat you like shit. And then I come to the conclusion that they always taught you to be every other race but yourself. I come to the conclusion that I don't want to be any race. Why? Because it's all bullshit. Right? If every race on the planet treat each other like garbage, like trash, why would I want to be that race? If they haven't learned that you are love and I am love itself, I am you and you are me, why do we treat each other such way? Why do we hurt one another, steal and kill each other? For what? When we all are trying to go to the same place. Why? Why do you think you're better than me or I'm better than you? Why can't you love me for me and correct me when I'm wrong. That's love. Okay? So now when someone asks me, if someone were to ask me where you're from, I would say to them, before I didn't have the strength to say that because I felt like someone was going to beat me up or bash me, or the anxiety in my chest was so deep. And now, if someone were to ask me, where are you from? I would tell them, I'm from the universe. And they will look at me like I'm crazy. And I will say, yes, you heard me. I am from the universe. And they will look at me, this guy's tripping, like he lost his mind. He's on some acid. Actually, I'm not on anything. I'm perfectly fine. It's you that's been gone for a long time and don't know it. And then I would say to them, knowing who I am from my background, how would that help you? How would that help you? If I were to say I'm black, if I were to say I'm white, if I were to say I'm this, how would that help you? Would that help you to treat me any better? No. It wouldn't help you to treat me any better. So why would I lie to you when I know I'm more than the race, I'm more than that color, I'm more than that limitation or that label that you put on me? So why would I? Why? Because if I told you I'm black or I'm white, you're still treating me a certain way because it comes with certain things. You wouldn't see me for who I am beyond the physical. So you would treat me still like trash, like garbage, because you're programmed that way. So for order for you to wake up and remember who you are, I'm from the universe and let you figure out or solve your own problems. Now, let's go back to race. Now, I never used to think of, I always thought the Haitian people or the African people, I never really thought about never saw the importance of the culture, never wanted to go to Africa, never cared to go to Haiti. And, people make fun of these people. But yet, these countries, Haiti, Africa, Haiti was one of the first country that got its independence, that won its independence from the Americans, right? Now, America has a lot of technology. America has a lot of weapons, guns, and stuff like that. Haiti, they don't have much resources like America does, such as technological and weapons. Hear me out. Africa, right? Africa, same way too, has a lot of natural resources, but they don't have enough weapons, right? Or technology such as America does. Why is it that America has a bunch of bases in different countries, but different countries don't have bases in America? You should ask yourself these questions. Why is it that in America, you cannot even grow, right? In America, you can't build something on your property if it's more than a couple of inches. You pay a fine, or they tell you to take it down. But you must work hard. You must kill yourself. You must get up 6, 5, 4, 3 in the fucking clock in the morning to punch into a fucking clock and waste your life away for a house that's not yours, right? For a car that if you miss a freaking payment, they can take it from you. If you miss a payment through the house, they can take it from you. But you say you're free, but you have independence, but you have freedom. Well, across the world, there's things worse than America. America have freedom. No, America doesn't have freedoms. You never had freedoms. They lied to you. They paint an illusion that you were free. You were never free, my friend. Do you know in Africa, in Haiti, these countries, when the Americans try to bring that bullshit over there, what did they do? How do you think they won the war? By guns and weapons? No. by dark magic, by placing spells, by doing voodoo and killing people. I don't condone killing. I don't condone violence. But if you come on someone's territory and you start murdering and slaughtering people and thinking you can give them religion when they don't need your religion, they don't need your backwards way of thinking. They were doing just fine before you came and insulted their intelligence. When they didn't need it, what do you expect is going to happen? Cause and effect. Okay? All right? So they did what they had to keep their property, to keep their land, to keep their freedom. All right? That's why America, we have no freedoms. That's why we stand for nothing. How the hell, out of all the countries in the world, Africa is the only continent, multiple countries, that's populated mostly black people, that have their own continent. But every country in the world don't have their own continent. Every country, or the Native Americans wiped out. Do you know why? Because I now learn and accept black people are the strongest people on the planet, because they're able to fight for what they believe in, because they stand up for what is right, even when it's difficult. That's why they are hit the hardest. I'm starting to understand, like, wow, like, and people are going to say, oh, he's being racist. Oh, he's playing the black. I'm not playing no black card. I'm not picking no sides. I told you already. If it was up to me, I wouldn't be any race. I would be nothing, actually, because it's all bullshit. But I'm gonna point out what's facts. And wow, I'm itching a lot on my legs. All of a sudden, I'm just itching. So when I was a kid, they were beating into me to speak English, right? You have tons of countries, tons of places, so much people in America, but the most dominant language is French, Creole, and Spanish in English. That doesn't make any sense. So you're saying, so what they're doing is America is going to different countries, going to different places, dominating, forcing religion down people's throats, beating them. So they give you technology that destroys you. They give you religion that destroys you. So they take away your history, they take away your language, they take away your way of thinking, right? And they give you garbage. And in return, they take your natural resources and your land and enslave you, right? And so they expect, once they enslave you and bitch you around, for you to not retaliate. This is why America is the way it is. This is why America, people don't stand for nothing. This is why America, kids are able to disrespect their parents. All right. This is why in America, kids drops out of school. Marriages don't last. Okay. And the students are not smart. Okay. They come out of school. They can't freaking find a job. All right. We're one of the richest countries in the world, but we are one of the most debt countries in the world. Okay, we have the most intelligence, the most technology, but yet people can't find a job. How's that possible? Okay, people can't find a job. You go to school for so long, but you get in massive debt, but you can't make a living. And when you get out of college, your job is Target. How do you explain that? But yet people still go and vote. But yet they still think that these people are going to help them. Help yourself, change yourself. Change yourself, change the world. People will know who you are. They know who you are. Okay? What else I was going to say? There's a lot I was going to say. Yes, so they... yes, you have... you know... oh, shit. My brain went blank. Yes, as a kid, man, If I can do it all over again, there's certain things I would not do. I'm 23 right now, man. If I were to go back in time, if I was 16 again, I would go to Rockin' Bosie's, okay, plan out my future, get a trade, all right, work, save my money, buy a lot of land, more land, and by the time I'm 23, I should be having kids. Your goal as people on this planet is to plan for your exit. Your goal is to, okay, so you're 16 years old, you're from a kid to 16. Once you're 16 years old, you are considered a man. So from 16 to 23, right, you plan that out and you say to yourself, all right, trading, a decent job, a trade that works, that pays the bills, and then a wife, and then the kids. So you want to finish as soon as possible because you know the system is rigged. You know that you're playing a losing game because the fact to come in this world knowing fully well that the game is rigged, that it wouldn't make sense to play in the game anyway because there's too much negativity. The fact that you come into the life and you don't remember anything with a blank slate, that's dangerous. So you can keep coming back doing the same thing and you don't grow. So that means if you don't grow, you descend. So you're saying you want to keep coming back to a world and you descend until you reach a state that you become a rock. Do you want that? Do you want to descend and become a rock or a wall or a physical object? No, it don't make sense. So why play the game? Okay, play the game of suffering. Even if you become rich and you live a decent life, the fact that you enter this world, all right, it's just no. I think at that point, if you were to come in this game, one time is enough and get the fuck out. You should be planning for your exit. And even if you're rich, right, why would you be like, when everything's going well and good, why would you decide to go within? If nothing's going on, why would you do that? Okay? And then you might say, well, one is rich and one is more spiritually aware. Who you would say, who's better? The spiritually aware one or the one that's rich and doing well on the physical dimension? Neither is better because the fact that they're in both of them in the game is insanity. But you could say the one that's more aware has a better chance of leaving the game completely because he's aware he has the tools in his body or he has the awareness to make a change to get the hell out. I'm starting to understand little by little that I'm not a nobody and that I'm unique and I'm different and it's okay to be different and it's okay to stand out and it's okay to be me. And I wish I was taught that. I wish I was taught to be me. I wish I was taught that it's okay to speak a different language, okay? That it's okay to be you, Jose. I wish I wasn't always suppressed or bashed or neglected or abused. And it took many years to kind of heal. I'm still healing and I'm not where I need to be. But I want to rise. I want to feel good. I want to feel love inside and out. I want to shine bright because I'm eternal. I'm infinity. And that's what everyone should strive for. Pure sexiness, pure beauty, love. I am love. I am me. I am everything that is. I'm the air that I breathe, the trees that I see, the people that I pass by, the light that flicks off and on. You know, I was thinking about that. When you close your eyes, the same amount of, when you close your eyes at night, and then when you turn off the light, what does the light bulb think too? Like, think about it. Does the light bulb sleep too? I'm like, wow, like, I think about, now I'm thinking about what's thoughts, you know? The star has a consciousness too. Like, how does that even work? And then does the does light think? Does light sleep? Does light feel? You know, how does that? I'm like, wow. How does the ground feel? Or the wall feels? I'm thinking about. I'm like, Then I realized, like, to not. I don't want to just think with it in my mind, but I want to feel it in my soul also, and I want to see it with my eyes. Like, I miss Peru so much. It helped me so much. Like, these medicines, these plants, they helped me so much discover who I am. And I am so eternally grateful. Like, if I were to die today, I would die and say thank you for being here. Like, thank you for helping me, even though I fell so deep in darkness. Thank you for allowing me to consume your light, even though you didn't need to, because that hurts you too, for allowing me to consume you. But you did it for a deep sense of love, and I am eternally grateful for that.